What if I told you that the greatest secret of life has been hidden in plain sight, closer than your breath, nearer than your heartbeat? What if I told you that the unseen force shaping your destiny is not luck, not fate, not circumstance, but a silent servant dwelling within you, obeying your every command without question? That servant is your subconscious mind. It does not argue, it does not reason, it does not hesitate. It accepts what you impress upon it, and it expresses it with absolute precision. This is the law of the subconscious mind, and tonight you will hear it not as theory, but as truth that demands to be lived. Ask yourself, what have you been commanding this power to create? And are you ready to take mastery of the law that governs kings and beggars alike? The subconscious is impartial. It does not care whether your thoughts are noble or destructive, whether your beliefs are life-giving or life-destroying. It is the soil, and you are the sower. If you plant seeds of fear, the soil will faithfully produce fear. If you plant seeds of faith, the soil will faithfully produce faith. If you declare, I am weak, weakness appears. If you affirm, I am strong, strength is born. The subconscious takes no sign. It simply mirrors. The law is exact. What is impressed is expressed. Write this law down now. Let it engrave itself into your memory. Whisper it until it sinks. What is impressed is expressed. This is the key to your destiny. This is the law of life. There was once a woman who could not sleep, tormented by restlessness. Physicians tried every method, yet she remained weary. I told her to engage her subconscious through beauty and expression. She began arranging flowers, allowing her inner creativity to flow. The sleeplessness disappeared. Why? Because her subconscious was starved for expression. Once she impressed it with harmony, the subconscious responded with peace. Another case, in England, showed mentally disturbed patients placed among gardens and artistic work. Surrounded by beauty, their subconscious minds responded, and their conditions improved. These are not miracles in the sense of breaking law. They are miracles of law, demonstrations of the subconscious responding to impression. What you impress is always expressed. You may think of your subconscious as an engine room of a great ship. Your conscious mind is the captain giving orders. The subconscious does not debate the command, it carries it out. If the captain declares, we sail into storm, the crew obeys. If the captain commands, we sail into safe harbor, the crew obeys just the same. The subconscious is that crew, and it is taking your orders every moment of the day. What orders have you been giving? Have you been commanding storms without knowing it? Or have you been directing your vessel toward peace and prosperity? Every word, every thought, every conviction is an order, and the subconscious cannot disobey. This is why careless speech is dangerous. If you say, I can't afford it, the subconscious accepts it and ensures you cannot. If you say, I will never succeed, the subconscious says, yes, Captain, and steers you toward failure. But if you say, I am wealthy now, I am successful now, divine order governs my life, the subconscious obeys that too. It is impersonal, exact, faithful. The only question is whether you will continue giving it destructive commands or begin to issue commands of harmony and abundance. Speak only what you want to live. Affirm only what you wish to see. For every word is a seed, and every seed bears fruit. Let us consider the case of a woman healed of blindness through suggestion. Even though her optic nerves were destroyed, physicians could not explain it, but the law explains it perfectly. Her subconscious accepted the belief of sight, and so it expressed sight. Or consider those who under hypnosis develop allergic reactions or marks upon their skin, simply because they were told to expect it. The subconscious cannot distinguish between truth and suggestion, between real and imagined, between present and future. Whatever it accepts, it expresses. This is why your imagination is your greatest tool. Imagine health, and you impress health. Imagine wealth, and you impress wealth. Imagine failure, and you impress failure. The choice is always yours. Some may ask, but how can I believe when appearances contradict me? Listen carefully. Appearances are nothing but the shadow of past beliefs. They are the harvest of yesterday's planting. Do not worship shadows. If you want a new harvest, sow new seeds. Ignore the field of today and plant for tomorrow. If you are sick, affirm health. If you are poor, affirm abundance. If you are lonely, affirm love. The subconscious is already working on the new seed, even while the old harvest still lingers. Persist, and in due season you will reap. The law is inexorable, it cannot fail. The only failure is to stop planting, to give up before the harvest appears. Understand also that feeling is the language of the subconscious. Words without feeling are dry seeds that never take root, but words charged with conviction, imagination, and expectancy sink deep and germinate. This is why idle repetition often fails, because it lacks the water of emotion. When you affirm, "I am wealthy," feel the joy of wealth. When you affirm, "I am healthy," feel the strength of health. When you affirm, "I am loved," feel the warmth of companionship. The subconscious accepts feeling as fact, and once accepted, it must express. Do not strain, imagine vividly, affirm with joy, believe deeply, and the subconscious will yield. Therefore, the secret of life is simple yet profound. Guard what you impress, for it must be expressed. This is the law of the subconscious mind. It is your silent servant, your faithful builder, your unerring mirror. You can ignore it and suffer, or you can master it and prosper. The choice is yours tonight. You are holding the master key. The question is, will you use it? Will you take control of your thought, your words, your imagination, and plant deliberately the seeds of health, wealth, love, and peace? For if you do, the harvest is guaranteed. Nothing in heaven or earth can stop the law from working once belief is impressed. Now, let us seal this first step with an affirmation to engrave the law upon your heart. Say it quietly, write it boldly, let it echo within you. I am one with wealth and wisdom, free of fear and doubt. Divine love guides me, divine order governs me, and abundance flows through me now. Repeat it until your subconscious accepts it. Whisper it as you fall asleep. Engrave it in your mind until it becomes the rhythm of your soul. For the law is sure, what is impressed is expressed, and tonight you are impressing greatness into your being. Every man walks in the world he is created inwardly, often without knowing it. He cries out against fate, curses circumstance, resents his neighbor, not realizing he is cursing his own reflection. The law of the subconscious mind is impartial. It does not bend for pity. It does not delay for prayer without belief. It does not discriminate between the wise and the ignorant. It simply obeys the pattern impressed upon it. If the pattern is fear, it will build a life of fear. If the pattern is confidence, it will construct a life of victory. This is why I say, stop blaming the mirror. Stop cursing the shadow. Begin instead to take responsibility for the inner image. For life has no choice but to reproduce it with perfect accuracy. There was once a man who trembled with stage fright before every audience. His conscious mind screamed, "You cannot do this," and his body obeyed with paralysis. But he discovered the key. He began to speak inwardly with authority. I am calm, I am confident, I am filled with divine power. At first his conscious mind mocked the words, but repetition sank them into the subconscious, and soon the trembling stopped. The fear dissolved, the voice flowed free. What changed? Not the stage, not the audience, not the song. Only the order given to the subconscious. The moment he impressed it with confidence, confidence was expressed. This is the law. What you impress, you express. The subconscious mind is the book of life, recording every conviction you hold, every judgment you pass, every word you utter in earnest. It is the silent scribe, and it never forgets. You may think a thought once and let it pass, but if you nurse it, rehearse it, repeat it with feeling, it is written deep. And once written, it must be acted out. If you constantly condemn others, your subconscious accepts condemnation as your law and brings it into your own life. If you constantly affirm harmony, your subconscious accepts harmony as your law and shapes it around you. Judge not, that you may not be judged, is not mere moral counsel. It is scientific truth. The judgment you pass is the harvest you reap. A woman once approached me, tormented by loneliness. She prayed fervently, but nothing changed. I asked her, "What do you really believe in your heart?" She admitted, "I believe I am unwanted, unlovable, unworthy." And so her subconscious obeyed her secret decree. I told her, change the seed, affirm love. Say daily, divine love surrounds me. I am wanted, I am cherished, I am worthy of joy. She resisted at first, but persistence wore down her disbelief. Soon her inner image shifted, and with it her outer life. Companionship entered, marriage followed, and peace was restored. Did God suddenly favor her? No, she simply stopped planting weeds and began planting roses. The soil was always ready. The seed was all that mattered. This is why prayer, to be effective, must be more than begging. True prayer is impression. It is aligning the conscious and subconscious in harmony with divine law. If you say, "I want abundance," but feel secretly unworthy, the subconscious accepts unworthiness and expresses lack. If you say, "I am healthy," but fear disease in your heart, the subconscious accepts the fear and expresses sickness. Prayer is not repeating words to an external deity. It is impressing the subconscious with conviction until it becomes fact. When Jesus said, "According to your faith be it unto you," he revealed the law. Not according to your words, not according to your rituals, but according to your belief. The subconscious answers belief and belief alone. Let me tell you, fear is the most common misuse of this law. Fear is faith in evil. Fear is belief in disaster. And the subconscious, impartial as ever, will produce what is feared just as faithfully as what is hoped for. If you constantly rehearse calamity, calamity comes. If you imagine loss, loss appears. But if you train your mind to affirm peace, peace grows. If you picture success, success unfolds. The same law that binds men in chains can free them in glory. The fire that burns the careless warms the wise. The choice is yours, for the law never changes, only the use of it does. Understand also that repetition is the hammer that drives the nail into the subconscious. One thought may pass like wind over water, leaving no trace. But repeated thought spoken with conviction becomes a groove, and the subconscious follows the groove. This is why affirmations must be consistent. Do not plant wheat today and weeds tomorrow and expect a harvest of wheat. Be steadfast. Speak the truth you desire daily, nightly, until the subconscious accepts. Once accepted, the expression is inevitable. The subconscious cannot argue, cannot delay, cannot deny. It must produce the harvest of the seed you persistently plant. This is the secret that kings have used to rule, that saints have used to heal, that ordinary men have used to rise above poverty and sickness. They impress the subconscious with faith instead of fear, with confidence instead of doubt, with abundance instead of lack. The law is no respecter of persons. It will serve you as it served them. You are not excluded from the promise. You are only excluded if you refuse to believe. Say with me now, the law of life is the law of belief. Write it, whisper it, engrave it, for it is the cornerstone of destiny. Let us seal this lesson with an affirmation. Speak it inwardly with conviction. I am one with divine order. I am guided, I am healed, I am prosperous. What I impress is what I express. I choose faith over fear, harmony over discord, abundance over lack. I am worthy of joy. I am worthy of wealth. I am worthy of love. Say it until your heart accepts it, until your subconscious embraces it, until your life reflects it. For the law cannot fail. The law is faithful. And tonight, you are planting seeds that tomorrow must bear fruit. Every action in your outer world is born first as a thought in your inner world. And every circumstance that surrounds you today was once a seed planted in the soil of your subconscious mind. This is the great secret hidden in plain sight. You are never truly dealing with people, events, or conditions. You are always dealing with your own belief mirrored back to you. If you see discord, look not at the mirror, but at the face producing the reflection. If you see harmony, know it is the echo of peace within you. The law does not play favorites. It simply returns to you what you send into it. You may resist this truth, but you cannot escape it, for it governs all who live, whether they know it or not. Consider a businessman who came to me in despair. Every venture he touched crumbled. Every door seemed closed. I asked him what words he repeated inwardly, and he confessed, "I always expect failure. I tell myself others succeed, but not me." His subconscious, ever faithful, obeyed those commands, shaping his outer world to match his inner decree. I taught him to change the record, to affirm, "Divine order governs my life. Success is mine now. Infinite intelligence prospers all that I do." He resisted at first, but persisted daily and nightly until the subconscious accepted it. In a matter of months, his fortunes changed. The same ventures that once failed blossomed into prosperity. The world called it luck, but he knew it was law. What is impressed is expressed. The subconscious cannot distinguish between truth and lie, between reality and vivid imagination. This is your greatest danger and your greatest power. If you brood over failure, imagining loss, the subconscious accepts it and makes it so. If you vividly picture triumph, seeing yourself victorious, the subconscious also accepts it and moves every circumstance toward that end. This is why imagination is more powerful than willpower. Will strains, but imagination persuades. The subconscious cannot resist a picture that is felt as real. The actors of the stage know this, athletes know this, inventors know this, and so must you. Your inner pictures are blueprints, and your subconscious is the builder. One young woman, lonely and bitter, affirmed daily, "No one wants me, no one cares for me." Her subconscious dutifully obeyed, surrounding her with coldness. I told her, "You are planting weeds. Change the seed. Affirm instead, divine love surrounds me. I attract companionship, harmony, and joy." At first it felt false to her, but she persisted until it became conviction. Within weeks, friendships blossomed, and soon she was married. Did her world change by chance? No, it shifted because her subconscious accepted a new impression. She stopped watering loneliness and began watering love, and love by law was expressed. You must understand that every I am is a decree. When you say I am sick, you are instructing the subconscious to manifest sickness. When you say I am poor, you are commanding poverty. But when you say I am strong, I am wealthy, I am guided, you are giving the subconscious a new order, and it cannot refuse. It must obey. So guard your speech, for idle words are seeds too. Speak only that which you wish to live. Attach to your I am only what you wish to become, for the law will engrave it into your destiny without hesitation. Many think they are victims of heredity or chance, but heredity is only suggestion, and chance is only belief. A man may believe he is doomed by family weakness, and his subconscious obliges him with sickness. Another may believe he is favored by life, and his subconscious obliges him with strength. Both are served by the same law. Life is not partial. It mirrors back what is planted. Stop cursing fate and begin to bless belief. Stop declaring weakness and begin declaring strength. For what you impress, you must express, and no other way is possible. You may wonder, why do affirmations sometimes seem not to work? The answer lies in the depth of belief. Words without conviction are shallow seeds. They may never take root. But words felt deeply, pictured vividly, repeated consistently, sink into the subconscious and germinate. This is why faith is necessary, why imagination is necessary, why persistence is necessary. Do not expect a single thought to uproot years of negative belief, but persist, and the subconscious will yield. The soil does not resist, it only waits for consistent planting. Keep sowing truth, and in due season, the harvest will appear. Let me warn you, never finish a negative sentence. If you begin to say, I cannot, stop, reverse it, say, I can, through the power of the infinite within me. If you begin, I will fail, stop, declare, success is mine now. Never allow fear to finish its thought, for the subconscious accepts endings, not beginnings. Reverse every negative with a positive. Cancel every fear with faith. Speak with authority, and soon the subconscious will obey only truth. This is the art of reversal, the secret discipline of those who master life. So tonight, write this law upon your heart. The subconscious mind cannot argue. It accepts what you believe, and it expresses what you impress. Say it to yourself, say it aloud, write it boldly, and let us seal this lesson with affirmation. Speak inwardly now. I am one with infinite intelligence. I am worthy of abundance. I am healthy, strong, and free. Divine order governs my life, and success is mine now. Repeat it until it is no longer words but conviction. Whisper it as you drift into sleep. For tonight you are impressing truth, and tomorrow it must be expressed. The greatest tragedy of human life is not failure, but ignorance of the law that governs success. Men wander the earth begging for blessings that already lie within them, crying for help while holding the key, cursing circumstances while they themselves are the cause. The subconscious mind is that hidden key, and it is always working, always creating, always building the world you see. It does not sleep, it does not rest, it does not forget. Even as you lie in bed tonight, it labors, arranging events, guiding circumstances, weaving tomorrow out of the impressions you gave it today. This is why the moments before sleep are sacred. Whatever you impress then, in word, image, or feeling, is planted deeply to grow overnight into tomorrow's reality. Guard those moments, for they decide the harvest. I recall the case of a man tormented by disease, told by doctors that his condition was hopeless. He might have accepted despair, but instead he chose to impress his subconscious with help. Night and day he affirmed, "Every cell of my body is filled with God's healing presence. The light of health permeates me. I am whole." He did not beg, he did not plead, he declared. He imagined himself walking in strength, filled with vitality. In time his body obeyed the new command, and the sickness vanished. Physicians called it a miracle, but it was no miracle. It was law. The subconscious expressed what was impressed, just as it always has, just as it always will. You may think, but my problem is too great, my burden too heavy. Yet to the subconscious, nothing is great, nothing is small. It heals blindness as easily as it cures a headache. It attracts wealth as easily as it provides a coin. It brings harmony in your household as easily as it brings peace to your heart. The subconscious does not measure difficulty, it only obeys impression. Whether you ask for a button or a kingdom, it is the same law. Believe, and you shall receive. Doubt, and you shall do without. The limitation is never in the law, but in your faith. Remove the doubt, plant the seed, persist until conviction is born, and the law will do the rest. Think of your subconscious as soil that never refuses a seed. You may plant thorns or roses, weeds or wheat. The soil accepts all. It will not say, "This is noble, I will grow it," but "This is evil, I will reject it." No, it grows whatever is planted. If you sow fear, you reap fear. If you sow harmony, you reap harmony. If you sow resentment, you reap bitterness. If you sow forgiveness, you reap peace. The soil is not to blame. The sower is, and you are the sower of your life. The question is not whether the harvest will come, it will. The only question is what seed you are planting now. One woman once longed for companionship, yet affirmed inwardly, "I am unwanted, I am unloved." Her subconscious obeyed, and her life reflected loneliness. When she changed her affirmation to "Divine love enfolds me," I attract friendship, harmony, and joy, the loneliness dissolved and love appeared. Did faith change? No. Belief changed. Did God suddenly decide to bless her? No. She blessed herself by planting new seed. The subconscious did not argue, it did not debate. It simply expressed. This is why Scripture says, "Keep thy heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life." Guard your heart, for it is the soil of destiny. Understand this. The subconscious is literal. It does not take jokes. If you say, "I am always unlucky," it accepts it. If you say, "I am doomed," it believes you. If you laugh and say, "I am sick of this," it records sickness. The subconscious is like a faithful stenographer, writing down every decree of the conscious mind, whether said in jest or in earnest. And what is written must be performed. Therefore be vigilant. Do not mock yourself with destructive words. Do not curse yourself with idle speech. Speak only what you wish to live, for every word is seed, and every seed is harvest. You may ask, how do I impress my subconscious with truth? The answer is simple. Through repetition, imagination, and emotion. Repeat the affirmation you desire until it sinks deep. Imagine the result vividly, as though it were already real. Feel the joy of it now as though it were already yours. These three, repetition, imagination, emotion, are the tools by which you engrave conviction upon the subconscious. Use them daily, use them faithfully, and soon the subconscious will accept the new belief. Once accepted, the expression is inevitable. You do not have to force it, you only have to impress it. The law will do the rest. Remember, the subconscious mind is the link between you and infinite intelligence. It is not only your servant, but your bridge to the divine. Through it, wisdom flows, guidance comes, resources appear, doors open. When you impress it with conviction, it not only organizes your faculties but also aligns the universe in your favor. It is as though an unseen hand begins to move people, events, and circumstances into place to fulfill your belief. This is not superstition. It is law. What you impress, you express, and expression comes through channels you may never have imagined. Let us seal this moment with an affirmation. Say it within yourself, with quiet authority. I am one with infinite intelligence. I am guided, healed, and prospered in all that I do. The law of life is the law of belief, and I believe in harmony, abundance, and divine order now. Write it, whisper it, feel it. For tonight, you are impressing truth, and tomorrow life must express it. The law cannot fail. The law cannot be mocked. The law cannot be broken. It only waits for your command. There is a silent courtroom within you, and every thought you think is a witness stefano. Your subconscious mind is the judge, and it never dismisses a word, never throws out a case, never delays a verdict. It hears every argument you make, it records every decree you utter, and it passes sentence without hesitation. If you plead weakness, weakness is declared. If you argue for failure, failure is granted. If you testify to sickness, sickness is affirmed. But if you stand in that courtroom and declare strength, success, health, and abundance, the subconscious stamps the decree and carries it out. This is why careless thinking is so costly. You are not merely entertaining thoughts. You are making legal declarations to the most faithful judge in existence, and that judge will always rule in line with your belief. A student once came to me tormented by financial ruin. His constant refrain was, "I can't afford it, I never have enough." He had turned these words into daily decrees, and his subconscious mind had honored them as law. I told him, reverse the verdict. Plead your case anew. I instructed him to say instead, I am supplied by the riches of the infinite. Wealth flows to me freely. I always have more than enough. He obeyed, repeating it every night before sleep, feeling the truth of it in his heart. Within months, opportunities opened, debts were cleared, and prosperity returned. His world had not changed by chance. It had been changed by decree. The subconscious courtroom had ruled in his favor because he presented new testimony, and the law must always obey. The subconscious is like fertile soil that never refuses seed. It is not concerned with the morality of the seed, the worthiness of the seed. It simply accepts and grows. If you plant poison ivy will grow. If you plant roses, roses will bloom, and the soil will never say, "This seed is dangerous, I will reject it." The subconscious mind operates in the same way. It will not say, "This thought is unworthy, I will cast it out." No, it accepts all, nourishes all, expresses all. This is why the law of sowing and reaping is eternal. You cannot sow one seed and reap another. You cannot plant fear and harvest peace. You cannot plant resentment and harvest love. But you can, this very night, plant new seeds, seeds of harmony, of abundance, of health, and you will reap accordingly. Let me remind you, appearances are deceptive. Many look at their current harvest in despair, saying, "This is my fate, my doom, my lot." But your current harvest is nothing more than yesterday's seed. Do not mistake it for destiny. If you dislike the crop, do not curse it. Change the planting. If weeds surround you, do not despair. Plant roses tonight. The soil is still fertile. The law is still faithful. The subconscious is still obedient. No harvest is permanent, no condition eternal, for the subconscious is always creating anew, always shaping tomorrow out of today's impression. You are never trapped by what is. You are always free to create what shall be. Consider the man who suffered crippling fear of speaking. Every time he rose before an audience, his voice faltered, his body shook. He told himself, "I am weak, I cannot do this." His subconscious heard the command and expressed it as trembling. I told him to change the order. I taught him to say, "I am poised and confident. The words flow through me with ease. Divine intelligence speaks through me." He repeated this until it sank deep into his subconscious. The next time he spoke, the trembling vanished and confidence carried him. The audience marveled at the change, but nothing mystical had occurred, only the law. A new seed had been planted, and the subconscious expressed it with fidelity. Fear is faith inverted. It is belief in disaster instead of belief in success. Both impress the subconscious and both are expressed. If you constantly rehearse calamity, you invite calamity. If you dwell on harmony, you invite harmony. The law does not care whether you fear or believe. It only expresses what is impressed. That is why fear is so dangerous. It is prayer to the wrong God. Stop worshiping fear. Replace it with faith. Every time fear whispers, "You will fail," answer with faith, "Success is mine now." Every time fear says, "You are weak," answer with faith, "I am strong in the infinite within." Do this consistently, and soon the subconscious will accept the faith and reject the fear. Do not underestimate the power of repetition. The subconscious is not persuaded by a single word spoken once, but by the steady hammer of thought repeated with conviction. Just as water dripping on stone carves a groove, so repeated affirmations carve pathways into the subconscious. And once the groove is deep, the subconscious follows it automatically. This is why persistence is the mother of transformation. Do not sow once and abandon the field. Sow daily, sow nightly. Sow until the seed is rooted, until the subconscious accepts the new decree as fact. Once it does, the harvest is inevitable. Remember too that your subconscious mind is connected to infinite intelligence. When you impress it with a belief, it not only organizes your inner faculties, but also draws upon resources beyond your conscious calculation. It moves men, shifts events, opens doors, rearranges circumstances. What you call coincidence is simply law fulfilling itself. Believe in guidance, and guidance appears. Believe in abundance, and channels open. Believe in health, and the body obeys. You are never working alone. The infinite is always working through your subconscious to express the conviction you hold most deeply. Seal these truths tonight with a living affirmation. Say quietly but with authority, "I am a free-flowing channel of health, wealth, and harmony. Divine love surrounds me. Divine wisdom guides me. Divine abundance sustains me. I believe in peace. I believe in prosperity. I believe in success." Write it, whisper it, engrave it upon your mind. For tonight you are impressing seed, and tomorrow you will walk among the harvest. The law cannot fail. The law cannot be mocked. What is impressed will be expressed, and you are now impressing truth. There is a silent builder within you that never stops its work, and that builder is your subconscious mind. Day and night it labors, taking the raw materials of your thoughts and shaping them into the conditions of your life. It does not sleep. It does not reason. It does not question. It only builds, according to the blueprints handed to it by your conscious mind. If those blueprints are filled with fear, it constructs a house of fear. If they are filled with faith, it constructs a house of strength and peace. You cannot expect a palace when you are handing it the plans of a prison. The subconscious does not alter your design. It follows it to the letter. That is why your greatest responsibility in life is to watch carefully what you are handing over to this builder. For once it accepts the plan, it must build. There was once a girl preparing for an audition who trembled with nerves. Every time she imagined the stage, she saw herself failing, forgetting her lines, stumbling over the words. And when the day arrived, she failed exactly as she had imagined. Her subconscious had faithfully expressed the image she impressed upon it. But when she learned the law, she reversed her practice. Instead of picturing failure, she began nightly to imagine herself standing with poise, singing with confidence, hearing the applause. She repeated it until her subconscious accepted the picture as fact. At her next audition, she performed with brilliance. What changed? Not her talent, but her inner image. The subconscious had been given a new plan, and it built accordingly. This is the power of impression. Think of your subconscious as a mirror that cannot refuse reflection. If you smile, it reflects a smile. If you frown, it reflects a frown. It does not choose. It does not alter. It only returns what it receives. This is why it is said, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." The heart in that verse is the subconscious, the deep seat of belief. Whatever is impressed there becomes your being. If you hold bitterness, bitterness is reflected. If you hold joy, joy is reflected. The mirror cannot be mocked. It will always show you what you truly are within. This is not cruelty, but justice. Life is the mirror of your inner state, and the mirror cannot lie. Let us consider the body itself. for it too is shaped by subconscious impression. The subconscious regulates every organ, every heartbeat, every breath. If you impress upon it harmony, it directs the body toward health. If you impress fear and tension, it produces sickness. There was a case of a woman healed of blindness, though her optic nerves were destroyed. Doctors were baffled, but the law explains it. Her subconscious accepted the suggestion of sight, and so it expressed sight, regardless of the physical condition. In India, surgeries were performed with hypnosis as anesthesia, patients feeling no pain because the subconscious had accepted the suggestion of numbness. The subconscious governs the body absolutely, and it expresses whatever belief is impressed upon it. You may call this miracle, but it is simply law. Understand also that the subconscious is influenced not only by your own words, but by the suggestions of others. If you accept the world's fear, it becomes your fear. If you accept others' doubts, they become your doubts. But you are free to reject suggestion. When someone says you cannot, you may reply inwardly, I can, for infinite intelligence strengthens me. When someone declares you will fail, you may affirm within, divine order governs my success. Do not let the careless words of others write decrees in your subconscious. Be vigilant, be selective, guard your inner court, and let no destructive suggestion enter unchallenged. You are the captain, and your subconscious is the crew. It will not obey the voice of strangers unless you permit it. And let me tell you, the subconscious does not understand time. It does not know past or future. It only knows now. If you say, I will be successful someday, it waits. If you say, I am successful now, it begins to express now. If you say, I will be healed one day, the healing is delayed indefinitely. But if you affirm, I am healed now, the subconscious sets to work at once. Always speak in the present tense, as though the desire were already accomplished. Feel it as real now, and the subconscious accepts it as fact. Time is a concept of the conscious mind. The subconscious lives only in the eternal present, and it expresses what is impressed as though it were already true. One man, terrified of disease, constantly repeated, I do not want to be sick. Yet he fell ill again and again. Why? Because the subconscious does not register negatives. It hears only the core of the thought. He said, I do not want sickness, but the subconscious heard only sickness and obediently expressed it. I told him to change his affirmation to, I am whole, I am healthy, I am strong. The sickness vanished. Never state what you do not want. Always affirm what you do want. The subconscious is literal. Give it only positive commands, and it will obey with precision. This is why you must never finish a negative sentence. If you begin, I can't, stop and reverse it. I can. If you begin, I will fail, replace it immediately. I will succeed, for divine intelligence prospers me now. Do this consistently, and soon the subconscious will hold only positive decrees. Life will then mirror back only harmony and abundance. Every reversal is a seed planted. Every affirmation is a command given, and the subconscious does not argue. It obeys the last word you speak with conviction. Let your last word always be faith, not fear. Now let us engrave this lesson with affirmation. Say within yourself with deep conviction, I am whole, I am strong, I am guided by infinite intelligence. The law of life is the law of belief, and I believe in health, harmony, and abundance. Now, write it, whisper it, repeat it, until it becomes conviction. For tonight you are impressing, and tomorrow the law must be expressing. This is the secret of life. What you impress, you express, and the law cannot fail. The subconscious mind is the invisible architect behind every detail of your life. It arranges your circumstances, it guides your relationships, it shapes your opportunities, all according to the dominant patterns you have impressed upon it. You may believe you are dealing with chance, but chance does not exist in a world ruled by law. What you call coincidence is simply the law of belief, operating with perfect precision. The man who expects misfortune meets it on the road. The woman who expects blessing finds it at her door. Life does not give you what you deserve, it gives you what you believe. That is the secret most men never discover. They pray for a harvest while sowing weeds, and when the weeds come forth, they cry against heaven. But the law is impartial. It gives back only what you plant. A young man once approached me, tormented by loneliness. Though he longed for love, he constantly repeated inwardly, I am unwanted, I am invisible. His subconscious, faithful to his decree, kept him in solitude. I told him to reverse the pattern. I instructed him to affirm. Divine love surrounds me. Divine order brings the right companion into my life. I am cherished. I am wanted. He resisted at first, for his outer world seemed to mock the words. Yet he persisted until conviction was born. Soon he found himself surrounded by new friendships, and love entered his life naturally. The world called it chance, but he knew it was law. What he impressed, he expressed. You can do the same. Change the inner decree, and the outer must follow. The subconscious mind is not moved by idle chatter or empty words. It is moved by conviction, by repetition, by vivid imagination. If you say once, I am wealthy, but spend the rest of the day brooding over lack, the subconscious accepts the brooding, not the passing word. But if you declare daily and nightly with feeling, I am prosperous now, infinite supply flows to me freely, the subconscious accepts it, and expression begins. The subconscious is not persuaded by what you say once. It is persuaded by what you repeat until it becomes real to you. Therefore, persistence is power, discipline of thought is wealth, and repetition with feeling is the hammer that engraves belief into the subconscious. Consider also the law of substitution. You cannot simply eliminate a negative thought. You must replace it with a positive one. If you dwell on sickness and try to push it away, you are still focused on sickness. But if you affirm, I am whole, I am filled with the life of God, the sickness thought is crowded out. Light does not fight darkness, it replaces it. Likewise, truth replaces error, love replaces resentment, faith replaces fear. Do not waste time wrestling with negatives. Impress positives, and the negatives dissolve by law. This is why Scripture says, choose life. It is not asking you to battle death, but to affirm life until death disappears. One woman once held resentment for years against her sister. The bitterness consumed her, and soon it manifested in disease. She sought healing through medicine, but the lesion remained. I told her, resentment is poison to the subconscious. Forgiveness is its cure. Begin to affirm, divine love flows through me. I forgive completely. I am free. I am healed. At first she resisted, but repetition softened her heart. Soon the resentment melted, and with it the disease vanished. She discovered that forgiveness was not merely moral, but scientific. Resentment impressed sickness. Forgiveness impressed health. The subconscious obeyed both with equal fidelity. What you sow, you must reap. Sow wisely, for the law never rests. Understand this. Your subconscious mind cannot reject what you accept as true. If you imagine failure, it obeys. If you imagine triumph, it obeys. If you accept defeat, it obeys. If you accept victory, it obeys. It does not argue, it does not reason, it does not analyze. That is the work of the conscious mind. The subconscious is the fertile soil, and whatever seed the conscious hand plants, the soil grows. This is why you must never say, I will try. Trying is doubt, belief is command. Say instead, it is done, it is mine now. I am guided, I am blessed, I am prosperous. Speak it until you feel it. Once the subconscious accepts it, the outer world will obey without resistance. Do not be deceived by appearances. Your senses show you only the harvest of yesterday's seed. They do not show you the harvest of the seed you plant today. If you affirm abundance but still see lack, do not despair. The new seed is germinating. The old harvest may still linger, but it will pass. Keep planting faith, and the harvest will change. Every farmer knows that he must wait for the crop. He does not plant today and reap tomorrow. Yet he never doubts the law. Why should you doubt? The subconscious is more faithful than the soil. It never fails, it never forgets, it never delays beyond its season. If you plant, you must reap. The harvest is as certain as the dawn. So I say to you, choose your affirmations with care and speak them as law. Say within yourself, I am guided by infinite intelligence. I am surrounded by divine love. I am prosperous, healthy, and free. Write it on paper, speak it aloud, engrave it upon your heart. Whisper it as you fall asleep. For the subconscious is most receptive in that holy hour. What you impress tonight will be expressed tomorrow. The law cannot fail, for it is life itself, and life is always faithful to belief. Every man carries within him an infinite treasury, yet most walk the earth as beggars, blind to the gold in their own hands. This treasury is the subconscious mind, and it contains within it the key to health, to wealth, to love, to peace. But like any treasure house, it can only yield what you demand of it. If you demand weakness, it yields weakness. If you demand strength, it yields strength. If you demand poverty, it yields poverty. If you demand abundance, it yields abundance. The law is impartial. It is not concerned with your worthiness. It is not swayed by your pleading. It is not delayed by your doubt. It simply responds to the dominant belief impressed upon it. If you plant thorns, thorns will grow. If you plant roses, roses will bloom. The soil does not care. It only obeys. Your subconscious is that soil, and your thought is the seed. A man once told me he feared death at every turn. He imagined accidents, rehearsed disasters, lived in dread of every shadow. And in time he experienced calamity, because his subconscious was faithfully expressing the impressions he planted. Fear is belief inverted. It is faith in evil rather than in good. The subconscious does not distinguish between them. It accepts both as law. But when he learned the truth, he changed his planting. Instead of rehearsing accidents, he affirmed daily, "Divine love surrounds me. Divine order governs my life. I am safe, I am secure." The fear dissolved, the accidents ceased, and peace returned. What had changed? Only the seed. The soil was always faithful, the harvest always mirrored the planting. What is impressed is always expressed. Understand this well. Your subconscious mind cannot tell the difference between truth and falsehood, between past and present, between real and imagined. It only knows what is impressed upon it now. This is why vivid imagination is more powerful than weak observation. If you spend your days staring at lack and brooding over failure, you are planting weeds. But if you dare to imagine success, to picture abundance, to see yourself walking in health and harmony, the subconscious accepts it and builds it into reality. Your outer world does not create your belief creates your outer world. Stop worshiping appearances. Stop bowing to circumstances. Begin to plant inwardly what you desire to see outwardly, and the law will not fail you. A woman once burdened with debt constantly affirmed, "I cannot afford this. I will never have enough." Her subconscious obeyed, and lack surrounded her. When she came to me, I told her, "You are planting poverty. Begin instead to plant abundance." I gave her the affirmation, "I am supplied by infinite riches. Money flows to me freely and endlessly. I always have more than enough." She repeated it daily, imagined herself paying bills with ease, felt the joy of plenty. In a short time, unexpected channels opened, supply flowed, and her lack dissolved. Did fortune suddenly smile on her? No, the law simply expressed what was newly impressed. She stopped watering weeds and began watering roses. The soil was impartial. The harvest was inevitable. Remember also that resentment poisons the subconscious like venom. If you hold grudges, if you nurture bitterness, if you replay wrongs, the subconscious accepts those images and expresses them as disease, as discord, as failure. One woman held hatred toward her brother for years, and her body bore the marks of sickness. When she learned the law, she began to affirm, "Divine love dissolves everything unlike itself. I forgive, I release, I am free." As she repeated it, the resentment melted, and with it her sickness disappeared. Forgiveness is not simply virtue, it is law. Resentment impresses poison, forgiveness impresses health. Choose wisely, for the subconscious obeys both without question. Do not think you can escape the law by chance or delay. The subconscious never forgets, never sleeps, never stops creating. It is at work while you rest, building tomorrow out of today's impression. This is why the hour before sleep is sacred. In that hour, the conscious mind relaxes, and the subconscious stands open, receptive, ready to accept. Do not fill that hour with worry, fear, or resentment. Fill it with faith, with affirmation, with vivid pictures of harmony and success. Whisper your decree as you drift into slumber, and the subconscious will take it as a seed planted deep, germinating overnight, bearing fruit in the days to come. And never forget, your subconscious is the bridge to infinite intelligence. Through it flows guidance, wisdom, inspiration. When you impress it with belief, It draws upon resources you could never calculate. It opens doors, arranges circumstances, moves men and women, shifts the very stage of life to fulfill the image you hold. This is why some call it miracle. But it is not miracle, it is law. The subconscious, united with the infinite, cannot fail. It only waits for your belief to give it direction. Once directed, it marshals all the forces of heaven and earth to carry it out. So let us close this chapter with affirmation. Say within yourself, I am supplied by infinite riches. Divine love fills me, divine wisdom guides me, divine abundance flows to me now. I forgive every resentment. I release every fear. I plant only harmony, health, and peace. Write it, whisper it, feel it until it becomes your conviction. For tonight you are impressing, and tomorrow you will be expressing. The law cannot be mocked, the soil cannot refuse the seed, the harvest cannot fail. What you plant now will be the world you walk in tomorrow. Every thought you think is a cause, and every condition in your life is its effect. The subconscious mind is the soil, and it never questions the seed you place within it. Whether the seed is noble or destructive, it grows just the same. This is why men call life unfair, when in truth it is perfectly fair. The law never fails, it only mirrors what you give it. If you sow doubt, you will harvest defeat. If you sow faith, you will reap triumph. If you plant fear, you will meet disaster. If you plant love, you will encounter harmony. Do not expect roses if you are planting thorns, and do not curse the soil for yielding what you yourself have sown. Life is exact, impartial, mathematical. The secret is not to beg for harvests, but to change the seed you are sowing daily in the fields of your mind. One man once came to me filled with despair, convinced that life had cursed him. He was sure his family line had doomed him to failure, sickness, and misery. But heredity is only suggestion, and suggestion has no power unless it is accepted. I told him, your family cannot impress your subconscious without your permission. You must choose a new decree. I gave him an affirmation. I am a child of the infinite. Divine health flows through me. Divine abundance surrounds me. I am guided and prospered in all that I do. He repeated this every night, writing it on paper, whispering it before sleep, imagining it as true. Slowly the conviction of doom faded, and success began to enter his life. What changed? Not his family line, but the seed he planted. The soil, faithful as always, simply expressed the new belief. Never underestimate the literal nature of your subconscious. It does not deal in sarcasm or irony. If you say, I'm always unlucky, it obeys. If you say, I'm cursed, it manifests curse. If you say, I always fail, it ensures failure. But if you say, I am favored, I am guided, I am prosperous, it manifests that too. The subconscious does not understand jest. It takes every word as law. This is why Scripture warns, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. Speak wisely, for every phrase is a seed falling into fertile soil, and the soil never rejects. There was a case of a minister in South Africa diagnosed with cancer. Doctors gave him no hope, but he understood the law. Each night he visualized himself whole. He imagined radiant light filling his lungs. He affirmed, the healing presence of God flows through me. Every cell responds to divine order. I am whole. The subconscious accepted the conviction, and the disease dissolved. Physicians were stunned, but he was not. He knew the law had done its work. Whether you call it miracle or mystery, the principle is the same. The subconscious, once impressed, must express. It is never a question of if, it is only a question of when. Remember also that your subconscious does not distinguish between present and future. If you say, I will succeed someday, it waits. If you say, I am successful now, it acts. If you say, I will be healed one day, the healing is delayed. But if you declare, I am whole now, the subconscious begins at once. Always affirm in the present tense, for the subconscious lives only in the eternal now. Speak as though it were already accomplished, feel as though it were already done, and the subconscious will accept it as fact. Once accepted, expression must follow. And take care never to dwell on what you do not want. The subconscious hears the essence of your thought, not your protests. If you say, I don't want poverty, it hears poverty and provides it. If you say, I don't want sickness, it hears sickness and produces it. Do not tell the soil what you do not want. Tell it what you do want. Affirm abundance, affirm health, affirm peace. Feed the subconscious only positive images and affirmations, for it is too faithful to ignore. It will build whatever plan you hand it, whether you meant it or not. Do not think this law applies only to great matters like health or wealth. It governs small things just as faithfully. If you believe you will be late, you will find delays. If you believe you will meet the right person, you will cross paths at the perfect moment. If you believe you will fail in a small task, failure comes. The law does not choose what to apply itself to. It governs all equally. That is why you must master it in the smallest details, so it may serve you in the greatest. Train the subconscious in little things, and it will obey in larger. Understand also that the subconscious is not only the builder of your life, but also the bridge to infinite intelligence. When you impress it with conviction, it not only mobilizes your faculties, but also draws upon resources beyond you. It arranges circumstances, moves men, and opens doors. What you call luck is simply law in action. What you call coincidence is simply the universe rearranging itself to fulfill your inner decree. The infinite works through your subconscious, and once belief is impressed, nothing can prevent its expression. So let us end this moment with a living affirmation. Say it within yourself with conviction. I am one with infinite intelligence. I am whole. I am strong. I am prosperous now. Divine love surrounds me. Divine order governs me. Divine abundance flows through me. Write it, whisper it, repeat it until it sinks deep. For tonight you are impressing, and tomorrow you will be expressing. The law cannot fail, the soil cannot refuse, the harvest cannot be denied. What you plant now is already your future, waiting to unfold. Every thought you think is a cause, and every condition in your life is its effect. The subconscious mind is the soil, and it never questions the seed you place within it. Whether the seed is noble or destructive, it grows just the same. This is why men call life unfair, when in truth it is perfectly fair. The law never fails, it only mirrors what you give it. If you sow doubt, you will harvest defeat. If you sow faith, you will reap triumph. If you plant fear, you will meet disaster. If you plant love, you will encounter harmony. Do not expect roses if you are planting thorns, and do not curse the soil for yielding what you yourself have sown. Life is exact, impartial, mathematical. The secret is not to beg for harvest, but to change the seed you are sowing daily in the fields of your mind. One man once came to me filled with despair, convinced that life had cursed him. He was sure his family line had doomed him to failure, sickness, and misery. But heredity is only suggestion, and suggestion has no power unless it is accepted. I told him, your family cannot impress your subconscious without your permission. You must choose a new decree. I gave him an affirmation. I am a child of the infinite, divine health flows through me, divine abundance surrounds me. I am guided and prospered in all that I do. He repeated this every night, writing it on paper, whispering it before sleep, imagining it as true. Slowly the conviction of doom faded, and success began to enter his life. What changed? Not his family line, but the seed he planted. The soil, faithful as always, simply expressed the new belief. Never underestimate the literal nature of your subconscious. It does not deal in sarcasm or irony. If you say I'm always unlucky, it obeys. If you say I'm cursed, it manifests curse. If you say I always fail, it ensures failure. But if you say I am favored, I am guided, I am prosperous, it manifests that too. The subconscious does not understand jest. It takes every word as law. This is why Scripture warns, by your words you are justified, and by your words you are condemned. Speak wisely, for every phrase is a seed falling into fertile soil, and the soil never rejects. There was a case of a minister in South Africa diagnosed with cancer. Doctors gave him no hope, but he understood the law. Each night he visualized himself whole. He imagined radiant light filling his lungs. He affirmed, the healing presence of God flows through me. Every cell responds to divine order. I am whole. The subconscious accepted the conviction, and the disease dissolved. Physicians were stunned, but he was not. He knew the law had done its work. Whether you call it miracle or mystery, the principle is the same. The subconscious, once impressed, must express. It is never a question of if, it is only a question of when. Remember also that your subconscious does not distinguish between present and future. If you say, I will succeed someday, it waits. If you say, I am successful now, it acts. If you say, I will be healed one day, the healing is delayed. But if you declare, I am whole now, the subconscious begins at once. Always affirm in the present tense, for the subconscious lives only in the eternal now. Speak as though it were already accomplished. Feel as though it were already done, and the subconscious will accept it as fact. Once accepted, expression must follow. And take care never to dwell on what you do not want. The subconscious hears the essence of your thought, not your protests. If you say, I don't want poverty, it hears poverty and provides it. If you say, I don't want sickness, it hears sickness and produces it. Do not tell the soil what you do not want. Tell it what you do want. Affirm abundance, affirm health, affirm peace. Feed the subconscious only positive images and affirmations, for it is too faithful to ignore. It will build whatever plan you hand it, whether you meant it or not. Do not think this law applies only to great matters like health or wealth. It governs small things just as faithfully. If you believe you will be late, you will find delays. If you believe you will meet the right person, you will cross paths at the perfect moment. If you believe you will fail in a small task, failure comes. The law does not choose what to apply itself to. It governs all equally. That is why you must master it in the smallest details, so it may serve you in the greatest. Train the subconscious in little things, and it will obey in larger. Understand also that the subconscious is not only the builder of your life, but also the bridge to infinite intelligence. When you impress it with conviction, it not only mobilizes your faculties, but also draws upon resources beyond you. It arranges circumstances, moves men, and opens doors. What you call luck is simply law in action. What you call coincidence is simply the universe rearranging itself to fulfill your inner decree. The infinite works through your subconscious, and once belief is impressed, nothing can prevent its expression. So let us end this moment with a living affirmation. Say it within yourself with conviction. I am one with infinite intelligence. I am whole. I am strong. I am prosperous now. Divine love surrounds me. Divine order governs me. Divine abundance flows through me. Write it, whisper it, repeat it until it sinks deep. For tonight you are impressing, and tomorrow you will be expressing. The law cannot fail. The soil cannot refuse. The harvest cannot be denied. What you plant now is already your future, waiting to unfold. The law of the subconscious mind is the law of life itself, and it is always working, whether you recognize it or not. Men stumble in darkness, cursing fate, unaware that they are cursing their own reflection. They plead for blessings while planting weeds. They cry for deliverance while rehearsing chains. They beg for freedom while declaring bondage. But the law is exact, impartial, and inescapable. It gives you not what you cry for, but what you believe. It mirrors not your wishes, but your convictions. It expresses not your empty words, but your felt truths. Once you see this, you are never the same, for then you know you hold in your hands the secret of life. Guard what you impress, for it must be expressed. A man once told me he lived under constant fear of ruin. He feared sickness, feared poverty, feared rejection. His subconscious faithfully built the world he described, and calamity seemed to follow him everywhere. When he learned the law, he reversed his decree. Each day he affirmed, I am safe, I am guided, I am prospered by infinite intelligence. He wrote it, whispered it, imagined it, felt it as true. Soon the fear lifted, the calamity ceased, and prosperity replaced despair. Did life suddenly turn in his favor? No, he turned within. He changed the seed, and the soil responded. The law never failed him. He had failed to use it rightly. Now he was master of his harvest. Never forget, the subconscious mind is literal. It does not filter. It does not analyze. It does not argue. If you declare weakness, it accepts it. If you affirm strength, it accepts that too. If you dwell on fear, it grows fear. If you dwell on faith, it grows faith. It does not know jest. It does not understand sarcasm. Every phrase, every thought, every image is taken as law and built into your life. This is why the tongue has the power of life and death. Guard your words, for each one is seed. Speak deliberately, affirm truth consistently, and the subconscious will construct a life in harmony with your decree. Consider the countless cases of healing wrought through belief. Madame Beer, though blind with destroyed optic nerves, regained sight when convinced she could see. Caruso, trembling with stage fright, commanded his subconscious to sing, and his voice poured forth with power. Patients under hypnosis have developed wounds or healed them, simply by accepting suggestion. These are not exceptions to law, they are demonstrations of it. The subconscious accepts belief as reality, whether born of faith or fear, whether inspired by truth or error. Once accepted, it must be expressed in the body, in the circumstances, in the life. This is the immutable law of mind. Do not imagine this law is reserved for the great or the chosen. It is as near to you as your own breath. It is yours to use now. If you are sick, impress health. If you are poor, impress wealth. If you are lonely, impress love. If you are afraid, impress peace. Do not wait for tomorrow. The subconscious knows no future. Declare it now, believe it now, impress it now. And once impressed, expression must follow. The law is exact. The harvest is certain. As you sow, so shall you reap. Some fear this law because they have sown poorly, but take courage. Every new seed has the power to change the harvest. You are never trapped by yesterday's planting. If weeds surround you, plant roses tonight. If thorns choke you, sow wheat anew. The soil never closes, the law never ceases, the subconscious never tires. It is always ready to receive, always ready to build, always ready to express. Begin where you are, with the thought you choose now, and tomorrow must reflect it. You are not bound by the past. You are liberated by the present. The key is always in your hand. And let me tell you, the subconscious is not only your servant, but your bridge to infinite intelligence. Through it flows wisdom beyond calculation, guidance beyond logic, strength beyond measure. When you impress it with truth, it not only organizes your faculties, but also marshals the universe in your favor. It opens doors no man could open, arranges circumstances no mind could plan, draws to you resources you never dreamed of. This is why success often comes through channels you could never predict. The infinite works through your subconscious, and once belief is impressed, nothing can prevent its fulfillment. So then, what is the secret of life? It is this: the law of the subconscious mind. It is the faithful mirror of your belief, the soil of your thought, the servant of your command, the bridge to the infinite. It never sleeps, it never argues, it never fails. Whatever you impress, it must express. If you want a different life, impress a different belief. If you want health, plant health. If you want wealth, plant wealth. If you want peace, plant peace. The law cannot resist you. It can only obey you. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are at the mercy of your own belief. Now let us end this journey with a final affirmation, the decree that will engrave itself upon your heart and echo through your life. Say quietly but firmly, I am one with infinite intelligence. I am whole. I am strong. I am prosperous now. Divine love fills me. Divine wisdom guides me. Divine abundance flows through me. What I impress, I will express. I am free of fear. I am free of doubt. I am a channel of health, wealth, and peace. Write it, whisper it, feel it until it becomes conviction. For tonight you are impressing, and tomorrow you will be expressing. The law is faithful. The law is sure. The law cannot fail.